Good evening, and welcome to the 2024 Republican presidential primaries. The candidates for the Republican nomination for President of the United States to face off against President Biden in November are Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan, Miami Mayor Francis Suarez, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, and Texas Representative Dan Crenshaw. And in just moments away, the Iowa caucus will take place. And in polls, DeSantis does lead nationwide throughout all the Republican candidates. He has 57% in nationwide polls, while in second place is Francis Suarez with 16% in nationwide polls, to Glenn Youngkin's 12%, to Dan Crenshaw's 8%, and Larry Hogan's 7%. This is the nationwide poll at this point in time. And now we have our Iowa poll, and Youngkin appears to trail DeSantis, but not as much in the nationwide poll. DeSantis still does lead in Iowa, according to polls, with 43% of the vote, to Glenn Youngkin's 29%, to Larry Hogan's 13%, to Dan Crenshaw's 11%, to Suarez's 4%. And in New Hampshire, Ron DeSantis also leads in polls. He has 46% of the vote, to Larry Hogan's 25%, to Glenn Youngkin's 16%, to Dan Crenshaw's 10%, and Suarez's 3%. And in Nevada, the third contest of the season, Ron DeSantis also leads once again. He has 54% of the vote, to Suarez's 20%, to Larry Hogan's 18%, and Youngkin and Crenshaw are tied with 4%. And in South Carolina, Ron DeSantis leads big. He comes from the South, and he will do very well in these southern primaries. He has 73% in the state of South Carolina. Suarez, who also comes from the South, has 19%. Dan Crenshaw has 4%. Glenn Youngkin has 3%. And Larry Hogan has a terrible 1%. And we have breaking news here. In the Iowa caucus, we can now project that Ron DeSantis will win. Ron DeSantis will carry the state of Iowa. Look at those counties. That is the county map. Blue represents Ron DeSantis counties. Green represents Glenn Youngkin counties, and yellow represents Dan Crenshaw counties. We have no Larry Hogan or Francis Suarez counties. This is the map. Ron DeSantis will carry the state with 53% of the vote, to Glenn Youngkin's 27%, Dan Crenshaw's 11%, and Larry Hogan's 9%. Francis Suarez has come in fifth. He is not even on your screen. Breaking news, Ron DeSantis has carried the Iowa caucus. And we can now project that Ron DeSantis will carry 15 of the 22 New Hampshire delegates. He has won the state of New Hampshire, winning every single county. Ron DeSantis has carried 63% of the vote here, to Glenn Youngkin's 20%, to Larry Hogan's 19%, and to Dan Crenshaw's 10%. Again, Suarez has come in fifth place. So Ron DeSantis has carried the state of New Hampshire. Moving on to Nevada, the Nevada caucus has been held. Ron DeSantis has won 16 of the 30 Nevada delegates, just over half of them. And he has won the most votes, obviously. He has won 53% of the vote. And Suarez is doing very well in the state of Nevada. He has taken fourth place instead of Dan Crenshaw. He has taken 24% of the vote. Larry Hogan has taken 9%, and Glenn Youngkin has taken 5%. Ron DeSantis has carried the Iowa caucus. And in South Carolina, this is breaking news. Ron DeSantis wins the South Carolina primary. He wins all but one county in the state of South Carolina. He did very well here. He has won 74% of the vote. Suarez has won second place once again with 23%, and Glenn Youngkin has carried 2%, and Larry Hogan has just carried 1%. And we have breaking news. Dan Crenshaw has dropped out of the race. Crenshaw out after a poor performance in South Carolina and Nevada, where he finished fifth in both of these contests. And Suarez has taken a spot. Francis Suarez, mayor of Miami, is rising. He is a rising star. And it looks like Dan Crenshaw is a falling star. And now we have our new our first nationwide vote for state contests have been held. Ron DeSantis does lead big. In our nationwide vote, Ron DeSantis has taken 64% of the vote, to Larry Hogan's 7%, to Glenn Youngkin's 21%, to Suarez's 13%. Again, blue is DeSantis, red is Hogan, green is Youngkin, and orange is Suarez. We see a lot of gray on this map. Most contests have not been held, but these four really are the most influential for Republicans to choose the candidate that they want. So, very interesting so far. Out of the states that have been called, we do see a lot of blue, some splatters of orange and yellow, and even a couple green squares there in Iowa. But yes, Ron DeSantis does lead currently. Glenn Youngkin is in second place currently. Francis Suarez is in third place currently, and Larry Hogan is in fourth place. And we can now project that Ron DeSantis will carry the state of California. This is days later here. Breaking news: Ron DeSantis will win California, and he has won amazing 154 of the 174 California delegates. This is a state that went strongly for Trump in the 2016 primary. Ron DeSantis has carried it once again with 78% of the vote, to Suarez's 19%, to Glenn Youngkin's 3%, and Larry Hogan's 1%. And in the state of Utah, we can now project that Glenn Youngkin will narrowly pull out a win. Ron DeSantis comes in third place in the state. Youngkin will win 22 of the 40 delegates. This is breaking news, people. Glenn Youngkin has carried the state of Utah. This is a state, with a large Mormon population, obviously. And Donald Trump, former President Trump, did make comments about Mormonism that the Mormons here did not like. Mitt Romney is a senator from the state. He voted to impeach Trump twice. And, of course, Ron DeSantis is closely aligned with Trump, so he will not do well. Glenn Youngkin is the projected winner here, and this has given Glenn Youngkin a major boost. It will encourage his voters to turn out and vote for him. And in Colorado, Ron DeSantis will narrowly pull out a win over Glenn Youngkin. Breaking news: DeSantis wins Colorado, even though Ted Cruz did win it in the 2016 Republican primary. Ron DeSantis has won 50% of the vote, to Glenn Youngkin's 38%, to Suarez's 10%, and Larry Hogan's 2%. And in Texas, breaking news: Ron DeSantis will carry the state of Texas. He wins 55% of the vote here, to Suarez's 28%, a very strong showing for Francis Suarez, to Glenn Youngkin's 16%, and Larry Hogan's 1%. And in Oklahoma, Ron DeSantis will carry the state of Oklahoma with 54% of the vote, to Glenn Youngkin's 42%, and Hogan and Suarez both win 2% here. This is a great showing for Glenn Youngkin. However, he does only carry 4 counties, but he did make many other counties very, very close. And in Minnesota, Glenn Youngkin is the projected winner, a state that went for Marco Rubio in the 2016 Republican primary. Glenn Youngkin will carry the state of Minnesota with 48% of the vote. This is a very narrow win. 48% of the vote to Ron DeSantis' 44%, to Larry Hogan's 5%, and Suarez's 3%. And in Arkansas, Ron DeSantis is the projected winner with 87% of the vote, failing to only carry 2 counties. And in Alabama, this is breaking news: Ron DeSantis will win every single county. He wins 90% of the vote here. Larry Hogan carries 0% of the vote here. He carries less than a percentage point. And in Tennessee, Ron DeSantis will win with 84% of the vote, carrying every single county once again. And in North Carolina, Ron DeSantis will carry all but 2 counties. Francis Suarez comes in second with 12%, to DeSantis' 78%. Youngkin carries 9%, and Larry Hogan carries 1%. And in Virginia, Youngkin will win the state of Virginia because this is his home state. He has won 54% of the vote here, to Ron DeSantis' 36%, to Suarez 9%, and Larry Hogan's 1%. This is something because it will give him votes at the convention. And in Massachusetts, Ron DeSantis will win every single county with 76% of the vote, as Trump did in 2016. And in Vermont, this is a pretty close race, saying that Ron DeSantis wins only 50% of the vote. He does not even win the majority. He only wins half. But he has won the race. He carries all but 4 counties, and Larry Hogan, for once, actually carries a county in the United States. Larry Hogan has won a county. This is a good day for him. So Ron DeSantis has won 50%. Youngkin has won 23%. Suarez has won 16%. And Larry Hogan has come in last with 11%, but he does manage to win one county. And in Maine, Ron DeSantis will carry the state of Maine. He wins 45% of the vote here to Glenn Youngkin's 44%, to Larry Hogan's 9%, and Suarez's 2%. This is an extremely close race. If Youngkin had just carried that one county on the eastern seaboard, he surely would have won this race. And we have our new nationwide vote after Super Tuesday. I forgot to say that was Super Tuesday there. And Ron DeSantis still leads after Super Tuesday at a very strong showing during Super Tuesday, only failing to win Utah and Minnesota. So Ron DeSantis currently has 72% of the vote, to Glenn Youngkin's 18%, to Suarez's 9%, and Larry Hogan only has 1% of the vote. And we have breaking news. Larry Hogan is dropped out of the presidential race. Hogan is out after a poor performance on Super Tuesday. And we it's time for the Idaho primary. And we have our statewide vote in the state of Idaho. And Ron DeSantis will carry all but one county, that is the Boise County. He will carry 65% of the vote here, to Glenn Youngkin's 34%, and to Suarez's 2%. And we have new breaking news. Ron DeSantis will carry the state of Michigan with 78% to 12% to 10%. And in Mississippi, Ron DeSantis will win all but one county. He wins 89% of the vote here. And in Missouri, he will carry all but 6 counties. He carries 71% of the vote here. Glenn Youngkin did do very well in the St. Louis metropolitan area. And in the state of Washington, Ron DeSantis will win every single county, as Trump did in 2016. Ron DeSantis will carry 83% of the vote here. And in North Dakota, he will carry every single county, 66% of the vote. And now nationwide, after we got done with those few primaries, Ron DeSantis has 87% of the nationwide vote, to Glenn Youngkin's 10%, and to Suarez's 3%. This race is closing up. Ron DeSantis is looking to be the Republican nominee. And in Florida, the home state of both Ron DeSantis and Francis Suarez, Suarez will carry the two Miami counties, but it really doesn't matter. Ron DeSantis will win 85% of the vote, to Suarez's 14%, and Glenn Youngkin's 1%. And in Illinois, Ron DeSantis will win all but 4 counties. Glenn Youngkin wins 14%, Suarez wins 10%, and DeSantis wins 76%. And we have finished a few primaries there. A couple days later, Ron DeSantis now has 90% of the vote, to Glenn Youngkin's 8%, and Suarez's 2%. Ron DeSantis still leads. The nominee is surely going to be DeSantis at this point. Youngkin and possibly Suarez needs something amazing to put them back in the race. And in Alaska, Ron DeSantis is the projected winner with 60% of the vote, to Glenn Youngkin's 36%, to Suarez's 4%. This is a state that Ted Cruz won in the 2016 primary. And in Wisconsin, Ron DeSantis is the projected winner with 67% of the vote, to Glenn Youngkin's 31%, to Suarez's 2%. Glenn Youngkin has done very well in the state of Wisconsin compared to other states, but it really doesn't matter. Ron DeSantis is the projected winner. And in Arizona, Ron DeSantis will carry every single county with a whopping 91% of the vote. And in Ohio, Ron DeSantis will carry the state, and it's 64% of the vote, to Glenn Youngkin's 36%, and Francis Suarez wins less than 1% of the vote here. Very bad showing. And we have breaking news, major news. Francis Suarez drops out of the presidential race after a very poor performance in the state of Ohio. And we have even bigger breaking news. Glenn Youngkin, the governor of Virginia and Ron DeSantis' chief opponent, will drop out of the race after failing to win in the state of Ohio. Ohio was extremely important to a Youngkin nomination because of the fact that John Kasich is from here. He won in 2016, and he has been a strong Trump critic. And Ron DeSantis does represent the Trumpian era, and Glenn Youngkin has failed to win the state of Ohio. He has dropped out of the race after this contest. And Youngkin has conceded to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Youngkin has called to concede. Only DeSantis remains in the Republican primary. Ron DeSantis is the projected winner of the Republican, or he is the projected winner. He is the Republican nominee in 2020. 2024. And he has won the rest of the states. Days later, he has won rest of the states because there is no other candidate. So, let's go through it. Ron DeSantis has won 84% of the vote nationwide. Glenn Youngkin has won 13% of the vote nationwide. And Suarez has won 3% of the vote nationwide. Ron DeSantis has carried every other primary state because there are no candidates left. And now, we are at the Republican National Convention. Ron DeSantis has accepted his party's nomination to be the President of the United States, to be the nominee of the Republican Party, and he faces Joe Biden in November. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I really enjoyed making this one. Tell me if you want more primary ones. Again, it was really fun. I liked having Suarez in. I'm a big fan of him. And CRENSHAW was cool to have in it too. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.